Hello, friends. Welcome to Squared Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be designing a weekly spread in my hourly dashboard layout. I've pulled some cute Easter-themed stickers with washi and blending inks for the week, so come play with me. And I've got a couple of brush tip markers ready to go, along with that washi I just mentioned. I also got this roll of washi tape stickers, these blending inks and blending brush, along with some stencils I may use, and these Happy Planner sticker books, which I'll pull from. Okay, so let's go ahead and lay down some wax paper so we can work out the weekly theme. Sorry if I sound stuffy. I got a bit of a cold, so my voice is a little bit rough and I'm a little bit nasally, so sorry if you can hear that in the video. Anywho, I saw these really cute Easter stickers. I don't normally do Easter themes, but I thought this one would be a cute one just to use up these stickers. So I'm going to go ahead and try to figure out something to do with these and just lay these out. I'm thinking maybe a border across the bottom would be good. I am doing a little bit of layover on some of these stickers because I know I'm not going to have enough to do what I'm envisioning, which is a top and bottom border. So I'm going to have some hang off that I think I can reuse on the top and just try to, push these stickers as far as I can go with just this one sheet that is available. I also pulled those blending inks because if you follow my channel, you know that I don't like when the stickers have a predetermined colored background unless I blend it out somehow. And so I have pulled a couple of blending inks to hopefully match up the color and make it look a little bit more organic in tone when I add these background colored stickers onto my sheet. There are a lot of repeats too of these stickers. There's a number of bunny heads, I think maybe 6 in total. A couple of the same type of Easter egg styles, the same florals, and carrot even. So again, I am trying to mix it up, make it feel random, and also not double up any repeats, as well as making these stickers go as far as possible. I'm putting some of the extra ones, I would say, on the top. And then once I get this cut down, I'll fill in the rest at the top with those trimmings. One thing I really liked about these stickers are the limited color palette. There seemed to be a pretty predominant reddish coral color, almost orange, but not quite. More towards the deeper red tones in the orange, if that makes sense. So I thought that was a good color, and then of course the soft green. So those are going to be my two main colors for this spread. Even though there are other colors within the stickers, those are the definite predominant colors that are coming through, so I thought I would use those. Also, I am using some stickers from an older Happy Planner sticker book. I believe this is the Best Year Ever sticker book. It's a seasonal one that came out many moons ago. I had a lot of the right colors and tones as far as boxes and some of the quotes and things that I was able to find in there. So I am pulling that in and just trying to see how far that will take me. Was a little bit worried about not having enough decor in here, which is also why I pulled that stencil to add a bit more flair if need be. Pulled in another quote there in the green tones. It says bloom and grow, but I cut off the florals because I don't really want those to be predominant. They were a different color scheme. It would have kind of messed with the overall vibe. Same with this strawberry box. Even though it has the right colors, the strawberry doesn't quite go with the rest of the spread, so I'm trying to figure out how best to use that. These other boxes are great, although they had a heart and a star at the top. So I just trimmed off that extra header since I didn't need it anyway. And I'm just going to pull in these boxes. Kind of nice to use up some of these random stickers that are in this older sticker book that I probably wouldn't have been able to create a spread with on their own, but mixed in with these other stickers, it's a perfect match of items and can help me kind of use up those older stickers. So I've got a couple of boxes there. There are 2 other red boxes, as you can see here, one with a sun and then that strawberry one I just mentioned. And both, I don't want that little icon to show. So we're going to try to layer them up and have them get cut off on the edge to make them look like they're just empty boxes. See if that works out. I also had pulled this watercolor kind of washi roll that I had in my stash, thinking I might want to add some of that in, but then changed my mind when I saw the colors on the page. I just didn't think that was a good match. Now I'm laying in some washi, and I pulled a fine black, it's almost like a black and white dot, but with sporadic colors mixed in, like a yellow, I think a pink, and maybe like a teal. So the colors match up close enough, and I really wanted a little extra black on there, kind of pulling in some of the black elements from the bunnies, and then of course on the spread itself with the text. And now I'm pulling in some of the washi in the color scheme I mentioned before, that deep reddish coral color and that soft minty green. I think that'll be enough to get us started. We'll see how this looks on the spread. First, I need to lay down that ink, like I mentioned, to kind of blend out those stickers. So just gauging how far up to go with the ink with those stickers on the wax paper. And now we will start blending it in. I was thinking that the soft color mint tone that I'm using here would be a little too blue, but once I started laying it down, it was very close in color, so I didn't need to mix in any of the green tone. I'd pulled it as well to kind of change up the color if need be. I was able to use that color straight off. I did have a little bit of a struggle there with getting the paper to not crinkle as I was doing the edges. I don't know. I was on the struggle bus a little bit with this, as you'll see later in the video too, just with the ink in general. This is a really soft and light ink, and I think my ink pad is a little bit dry as well, so it was pretty difficult to lay down a lot of color. I had to do a lot of passes. And then the inks that I like to use, these chalk inks, sit on the top of the paper so they don't like set in and, bleed through the page. But they also kind of create a little bit of a waxy surface, I would say, on the page. And it does make the stickers not want to stick to it. Once I get them fully on there, it's fine. But when I'm trying to roll them off, they were just giving me a hard time, not wanting to secure themselves initially down to the page. So my hope to roll these off didn't quite work out. I ended up piecemealing it off of the wax paper, but got it all over in the end. It just took a little bit more effort than I had planned. And getting things all lined up. Like I said, it just did not want to stick initially to the page until I basically pushed it all the way down. So we'll get that moved over. Had that washi tape in the background, so I kind of moved that over as well, and adding those other pieces as we go. Totally forgot that I had moved a sticker onto my finger, and so I started laying down these stickers and wasn't quite sure why it wasn't laying out how I saw it on the wax paper. I was like, this doesn't fit right. I need to move some stuff over, and then realize, oh, it's because I missed a sticker, so I need to readjust again. Once I figured that out, it all went pretty smooth. I just had to move over the stickers one by one. Like I said, I do have some hanging off of the page, and we'll be using those trimmings on the top to fill that out as a border. I'm going to go ahead and move over the rest of the floating washi and stickers there in the center, and then we'll get to work on the top border. I'm going to move the position of this little Easter flag I pulled for Sunday, just because I didn't like where it was originally. Lay over the box and this washi tape. Again, making a small adjustment there to the positioning of the quote. Trying to balance everything out as well. There are 3 main polka dotted washis on the spread. And then to add a little bit more color, I added in the layered colored washi. So that equals 5 locations of washi tape on the spread. It's an odd number, and I feel like that works a lot better than trying to balance everything out symmetrically. So I was happy with that, even though there's only 2 of the colored washi layered up. It works because there's another area of washi, I think, that kind of helps balance things out in the end. And we're going to get started on the top section here. I did trim out the bottom pieces, so I'm just going to start laying things in and filling in the gaps as I go. Just trying to see what might work. Again, kind of mixing up the colors and the patterns, making sure that nothing gets repeated. I don't like to see things too close together that are the same. I like to have it look a little more random, even though it's anything but random. Lots of little pieces to use up here, so we'll figure this out now. Working on the left side, I'll put in those elements I already have set, including this washi. Basically covering up the 6 o'clock hour. I haven't been up before 6 in a minute, so I don't think I'll be needing that for any kind of planning. And we're just going to start dropping things in. Hopefully I will have enough to cover the entire top. I definitely want it to feel like a full top and bottom border when we're all done. Also trying not to cover up any functional items if I can avoid it, like the dates there at the top or the days of the week on the opposite side. Just try to keep those open if I can. It's a little bit like Tetris, finding where things fit. And I could have done this on the wax paper, but I just figured it'd be faster to do this process on the sheet afterwards once I had trimmed them out. Sometimes I like to do a full split border where you're using the exact same stickers, but on the top and the bottom, or on the side and the opposite side. And in that case, I would have designed them together and then just cut the pages apart. You may have seen me do this in a previous video if you've watched my channel. If you're having trouble visualizing, let me know. I will try to direct you to one of those videos so you can see what I mean. It just helps keep the economy of stickers. So like if you have very little stickers to work with, by only using half of them on one side and half on the other, it makes them go a lot farther. Okay, so I've got them laid in, and I like the way it looks, but it's still kind of white overall to me. There's not as much color as I had thought there was going to be because the ink is fairly light in tone. So I'll go ahead and clean out these washi tape layered holes just so that they can get back into my planner. Smooth down the stickers. And then go back and add in a bit of those stencils that I pulled. So this is a stencil kit I got from a subscription set from Planything. I think I got this with the plants and botanicals one that was back in maybe December or January. I am just going to use my blending brush here and add a bit of texture using that same ink to fill in a little more color. The great thing about using these inks is that you can write on top of them, and so they don't interfere with functional space like a sticker would. So that's why I'm, happy to have these on there. It adds more to the spread without taking away that functional space, which I really need. I'm not a great stenciler. I don't do it as often as some, expert ones that I've seen. So there's some tips I picked up, like covering up neighboring stencils with washi tape so it doesn't bleed as you're blending on the page. I decided to do that after I saw that it was bleeding, but I didn't really do a good job with the edges of the stencil. And I wasn't really sure how to fix that, so I just kept going. And after I'm done with putting in these leaves that I decided to use, it had a little bit of overlap of the edge. You'll see some areas. I just go back with my white opaque gel pen and cover them up like you would a whiteout pen. And that worked out really good, actually. It, didn't take as much effort and I didn't have to do too much to fix my kind of blunders there around the spread. Gonna lay a couple more little clusters in where I feel like I could use a little something else. Tried dabbing, but dabbing was just too soft, so I went back to blending. And then I even wanted more color, so I decided to take the blending brush and just kind of blend off the side of the page where I'd put in those leaves to finish things off. I think overall that looked really good. And like I said, I'll just go back and clean up those edges. I also need to add in my bullet points for the week using those brush tip markers that I've pulled in the soft green and coral colors. And once I'm done with that, you guys, we will be done, friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, to go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye.